Lewis County is now eligible for federal disaster aid for flooding that happened in August. Governor Hochul announced the disaster declaration from the president on Monday. It allows local governments to apply for FEMA funding for things like debris removal and repairs to buildings and infrastructure. The money is for damage done by severe weather on August 18th and 19th. Oswego and Suffolk County were also part of the declaration. Hochul says they're still waiting to learn if homeowners in those counties will get access to FEMA money as well.